Welcome to episode 5 of Unleashed and Empowered. This is going to be our first solo episode, no guests. I hope that episodes 1 to 4 you have enjoyed so far. We had the wonderful Bronwyn with some very deep insights on energies. We had Gria and how she turned into this incredible artist, and one of her main lenses is photography, on how she brings her art to life. We had Beck and hypnotics and NLP and how to rewire the brain. And then we also had Brooke, our AI queen. And there was so much goodness in that episode. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a solopreneur, then you definitely have to listen to Brooke's episode to start making your life and your business just a little bit easier. Anyways, that's not the point why I'm jumping on today. So today, I would love to firstly welcome you to Unleashed and Empowered. And I'm really hoping that the promises that I have made, I have been able to deliver on. Because what this podcast is all about is bringing the real stories. I'm not somebody who wants to glorify everything and say that everything is butterflies, roses, and sunshine when we start opening up our business. I think, there is too many people that glorify and that promote that you can run a 7-figure business from the side of the pool and not have to do anything. My experience has been wildly different. And so if you resonate with that, and if you would like to have some really candid conversations around how did we get to where we are today, then this is the podcast for you. We're getting vulnerable, we are getting honest, we are being open to what has worked and what hasn't. And so today's episode is no different. What I would love to do is I would love to take you a little bit behind the scenes on how this all unfolded and what's in store for 2025 at Empowered by Alice. Because I have gone through a very deep transformation at the end of last year. And by sharing some of those insights, I'm hoping that it will resonate with some of you and will allow you to let go of the things that are no longer serving you to make the space to the new things that are wanting to come into your life and into your business. So let me take you back. So Stephen, my partner, he is an accountant, and at the end of last year, he had a conference up in Port Douglas, and I took the opportunity to travel to Port Douglas with him. And my main intention for that period was to lie by the pool and do strategic business planning for 2025. Whilst I'm not running a passive income 7-figure business from the side of the pool, I still see the benefits of having those breaks by the pool to obviously plan and to reflect and to pause. And so what I had done was I had done a little bit of an outline of what 2024 looked like, the revenue, a couple of reports, and just kind of really sat and reflected on each one of the programs and the offers that I had out there in the marketplace. I obviously have Business by Design, my group coaching container for entrepreneurs that want to align their business with their human design. I also have human design offers, and I was sort of dabbling in a few other things. And so what became apparent for me was Business by Design is a big love of mine because I believe so much in what it teaches. But I also recognize that perhaps a 12-week container to change your business is maybe not long enough. And the other thing was that, you're basically teaching the same curriculum over and over and over again. And there is not really a lot of wiggle room to sort of bring in the manifesting generator energy. So I'm a manifesting generator 1-3. And obviously one thing for me is the adventure, the excitement, the satisfaction that I'm getting from doing what I love doing. I can get bored easily, quickly, and I'm always chasing new shiny objects. Just ask Stephen. Luckily, he's a projector in my life and he reins me back in, and he tells me when I'm chasing those new shiny objects that perhaps I should be going back to some of the tried and tested things that are actually working really well in my business. But the thing with Business by Design was that I absolutely loved what it brought. But it just didn't give me the flexibility, and I knew that the excitement in 2025 perhaps wasn't going to be at the level that it has been in the past. And so I thought to myself, okay, so what can I bring in in this new year that would bring me that excitement, that would bring me the flexibility and the adventure. And so I thought to myself, okay, I'm not really someone who wants to start a membership, because a membership to me, I have to be on. I have to be on all the time, like the way that I would run a membership. I know there is obviously various ways that you could do that, but for me, I would want to deliver. And so I'm at this point in my life where Stephen and I really want to travel a lot, and we want to spend a lot of time overseas, and we want to spend a lot of time just being flexible in the way that we do things. And the nature of his business is that he can't be as flexible as I can be, because obviously, you know, in an accounting business, you have certain times per year when there are certain requirements that you have to deliver on. But when those times are over, we then want to have the ability to just say, jump online and say, oh, there is a really good deal. Let's jump on the plane and let's go down to Tasmania, or let's go over to WA, or maybe even let's go overseas. And so for me, to have a rigid structure of a membership program would probably restrict me in this phase of my life where I want to have that flexibility. And so I thought to myself, mastermind. Let's create a mastermind, bring in the essences of business by design, bring in the essence of human design, because it works so incredibly well. And then let's learn from each other and elevate each other and really create the businesses that we love, but in a 12-month container with time in between where everyone's just going to work on what they said they were going to deliver and where they wanted to grow into an experiment, and then regroup, reconvene, see what has worked, what hasn't worked. Because at the end of the day, what I also realize is I have so many online coaches, but accountability and actually being open and honest with people and sitting down and saying, this is what I was brave enough to do. This is what I wasn't brave enough to do. This is where I'm scared. This is where I'm procrastinating, is really so essential in moving the needle forward. If you're driven and if you want to make an impact in the world, I truly believe that you need to have a group of people that can hold you accountable, but where you can also dream, where your dreams are not being crushed before they even had a chance to really come out as that little seed. And so for me, the mastermind really was the juiciest way to be of service. And so what I did was I put together a PDF document, really beautiful one. Don't get me wrong. It looked like a really beautiful brochure. My beautiful Mel, my virtual assistant, helped me in doing that as well. And I sent it out to a couple of people and I said, I would really love for you to be part of this inaugural Business by Design Mastermind. If you feel the calling, if you want to step up, if you want to be surrounded by the right people, then please come and join us. And I have a knack of creating environments where the right people come together. So for me, it was really crucial and really important to not chase the dollars, but to actually invite the right people into the mastermind that could leverage off each other and could leverage off the group energy, but still hold that space in a loving way and give that really open and honest feedback. So the mastermind got filled really quickly. It was really beautiful to see. Everyone was on board really quickly with the vision that I had set for it. And we're now in month 3 and everyone is absolutely loving the experience. So tick, that one was really good because I was like, you know what? One doesn't serve me anymore. I'm not having as much fun. What could hold its space instead, and how can I be of service, leveraging all the knowledge that I have gained, but where I'm not the only one that is delivering the content. Then I really wanted to launch this podcast, and oh my God, like how many years have I been wanting to launch a podcast, but I just didn't have the courage to do so. I know that sounds really weird and really silly, but that is the honest truth, because at the end of the day, when you commit to launching a podcast, you have to show up. And just like I had learned this lesson, or it's not really a lesson, this gift from the mastermind, I was like, well, I don't want to make this a solo show. Yes, I know a lot. Yes, I have learned a lot because I have invested tens of thousands of dollars into group coaching programs. I have books galore in my little bookshelf over there. And I can teach you so many different frameworks, so many different ideas on how to run your business more in alignment with who you are. But it's not as much fun as bringing other guests on the journey with you and interviewing them and then learning from them at the same time, and just being open to their viewpoint and open to learning how they're running their business, what has been working well, what were some of the lessons they had to learn, and what were some of those sliding door moments that we've all had. Because truth be told, if we didn't have those sliding door moments where we could either go one way or the other way, our life would probably look very different. And for me, November was a massive, massive sliding door moment. And yeah, so anyways, back to the pool. I then said, okay, I'm launching a podcast because I'm having difficulties putting engaging content out to my audience. I was really struggling with coming up with really insightful newsletter content, even social content that would help with the engagement piece, but would also help people understand what it is that I'm passionate about and that I'm doing. And of course, with a defined throat and being a manifesting generator, and I can talk until the cows come home, what better way than to then juice content than to have a podcast where you can leverage insights, where you can leverage frameworks, where you can leverage conversations with other people, and then juice that into content that you can then share with your audience. Again, it's all about making your life in business easier and not harder. So that was the second thing that I promised to myself that I was going to do. But then there was this big gap, because what I really wanted was a very significant increase in my revenue in this year. That was my goal. Last year was really dedicated to healing, to just help me heal my body, and to energetically get to a place where I was really grounded in what I was doing and really secure in who I was. And so I wanted to have a significant increase in my revenue, and I didn't know what that was going to come from. Because as we understand, for those of us that follow spirituality, that understand laws of attraction, that understand how manifesting generators work, it's not that we need to go out there looking for something. Something will land in our lap if we're open to it and if we have created the space. And so the calculator that I have developed that I also use with my clients had an $80,000 gap between what I knew I was able to bring in and where I actually wanted to end up in 2025. And I said to universe, you know what that means, universe? There is a space here that would love to be filled with something that is so utterly in alignment that I don't yet know what that is going to be. So the door is now open for you and you can now get into action. And this is where the juicy bits started. I sort of highlighted a little bit on Brooke's episode 2 weeks ago on what that was, but I'll give you some more insights. So I came back from Port Douglas and I wanted to have a catch up with Sandra from Business Mums Hub here in Adelaide. She's a cracker of a lady. She's a total powerhouse. And we ended up having lunch together. And I think we had planned for 1 hour. We ended up 3.5 hours because when we come together, there is just so much juiciness and so many ideas flowing. It was really, really beautiful. And the way that I was talking, she mentioned, and I can't remember exactly how it happened, but she mentioned Brooke from last week's or 2 weeks ago from the episode. She said you should catch up with her. She does AI and there might be something in it. It's like, okay, no problem. Then Instagram stories. Who has, I mean, seriously, put your hand up. If you had a moment in your business where you were so frustrated that you just end up going on Instagram and you just scroll through reel after reel after reel, and you're like, oh, I just don't want to do what I have to do right now. I just want to numb out and I just want to go somewhere else for the minute. those moments, this is how human design has come into my life. And this is how this incredible ChatGPT prompt has come into my life as well. I follow the nudges these days. I know how the universe works with me. I know how it likes to play with me. So there was this reel, a beautiful entrepreneur over on the East Coast. She's also into human design, but she layers astrology over the top of it. And something in her reel had grabbed my attention. I immediately went to her website. I immediately purchased the prompt and I immediately got to work. And so what came out, she called it a visibility and growth document. I have, in the meantime, given it 5 different names. It is now called the Ultimate Business Blueprint. And so what came out from this prompt was basically astrology, human design layered on top of each other and giving you really deep insights into who you are here to serve, how you are here to serve, how you're supposed to be visible. So as in terms of, are you going to create a luxurious brand or are you going to have a grounded brand? Like, what does that look like? Who are the clients that you're actually working with? And how are you here to make money? All based on your blueprint of your human design and your astrology. Me being a 1-3 in manifesting generator in human design, I was then like, ooh, what else can you do with it? And I love AI. I have been an early adopter in AI. I don't hesitate to play around with it, and I will tweak things and play with it until I have a desired result. And so over the next couple of weeks then, I planned around with this prompt and I made it so extensive that I ended up layering my gene keys over the top of it. I then extended it to infuse some of the stuff that I'm teaching in Business by Design around what is my best suited offer environment. Like, for me as a manifesting generator, I've got a defined sacral. So I have a lot of energy to bring programs into life that require for me to be on. I don't have an issue with that. Projectors obviously would be very different. But so once you layer everything over the top of each other, and once you then have a look at, okay, what is my office suite supposed to look like? What is my business supposed to look like? Where is the money actually going to come from me based on my gene keys, spheres activation, like the pearl sequence and everything? And so I think I ended up with a 30-page visibility and growth document that detailed in so much. I don't know. It was like, when you first read your human design and you're like, wow, somebody has just held a mirror up. Human design was powerful, but this is actually next level, because when you have a look at your human design, okay, so manifesting generators, we have the energy to bring whatever into life. Projectors are here to be the seers. They're supposed to be the guides of the guides. That all makes sense. And it all makes sense on how to turn that into offers and how to turn that into something that you can leverage for your business. But there is still an element that is requiring guesswork, that is requiring trial and error on what that actually is translating in your business. Because there is still that element of self-doubt then to say, am I here to charge premium prices? Am I here to do VIP offers? Am I here to be mass marketing? Am I here to have, really small offers that will then go viral globally? Like, how am I here to work? How am I really here to be of service? And so that was the point that I was not necessarily stuck on, but there was that element where I was like, I still have so many more questions. And if only I could have this Bible that would tell me how to do things. And maybe you are getting a sense of what I'm alluding to here. Maybe you have gone and, experimented with your human design in your business over the last couple of years. And maybe you felt like me, where it's like, I just need that next level unlocking. And I had found that next level unlocking with this ChatGPT prompt. And as I said, I've obviously experimented with it wide and far. I then turned it into my business overview document for the next 12 to 18 months, where I have basically put every single offer through this visibility and growth document. And I said to chat, how would you adjust and align this offer to be 100% in alignment with what I'm here supposed to create through human design, gene keys, and my astrology. So for those of you that don't know, I have a lot of Leo, I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. So for me, it's all about, being bold. It's about deep transformation. So the depth of things, it's not surface level that I'm here to do with people. And obviously because of that Leo energy, I'm also supposed to charge premium pricing. And I know that I'm not alone with this, to say that we create wobble energy when we're trying to upgrade to premium pricing too quickly, because we can't hold that container, we can't hold that energy of what it is that we're putting out into the world. And so for me, it was almost like somebody was finally giving me the black and white permission written on a piece of paper to say, you are not here to offer cheap pricing. It is not congruent with the energy that the universe is offering for you. You are here to do more premium work. It doesn't mean that I'm not here to provide entry-level services, but those services probably have to be through a funnel. They probably have to be a little bit more passive rather than me, overworking, over-delivering, because that's not serving me and that's also not serving my community. I'm here to do other work, if that makes sense to you. And so what I ended up with was these two incredibly powerful documents. I call them my Bibles. And every time I then was looking at, okay, what do I now bring into the world next? Whether that was my podcast, whether that was the mastermind, whether that is now the AI bot that I'm developing with Brooke. Whatever I'm doing, I'm now doing through the lens of those two documents. So I'm playing around with chat and saying, okay, strategy bestie, let me know how am I supposed to bring this into the world that is in full energetic alignment with what I'm presenting you here with. And so then chat comes out with ideas and we then strategize pricing as well, and it will keep me in line if I, fall back into not premium pricing. And sometimes we have to meet in the middle to obviously help me adjust to the energies of that premium pricing, that next level that I'm now going to offer. But I haven't just started using it for myself. I have then also given my mastermind members access to this. And it has taken me, I don't know how many weeks to develop their documents. But for Gria, I was actually in tears. Tears were just running down my face because what was written in her visibility and growth document felt so beautiful and felt so magical for her that I was like, Gria, you are so, so close to unlocking this next level of your incredible business. Flock 50 has already been so tremendous, but there is this next level available for you now. You just need to step into it and you just need to give yourself permission and allow to receive. And that's what's so powerful. And this is sort of the shift that I wanted to just share with you from leaving intentional space and doing intentional reviews to say what is no longer of the highest service, what is not serving me from my human design perspective. Because at the end of the day, when you have overflowing energy, when your cup is so full, both financially as well as from being of service because you're having so much fun, people can feel that. People can feel that energy that you are emitting. And so it is of highest service to the world for us to do those regular check-ins and say, am I still lit up by it, or does anything need changing? And by me going through the motions of saying, okay, well, I have invested so much money, so many resources into the development of Business by Design, but it's no longer serving me the way that I want to offer it to my clients, I need to let it go. But funnily enough, the thing is that what I have now uncovered with those visibility and growth documents and with the gene keys and with the astrology, I have this new passion for business by design that has just sort of erupted. And I'm like, holy smokes. So the bot that I'm now developing, I can actually run business by design completely differently. I can re-record everything. I can upgrade it to that next level of clarity that I want for my clients to have. And I can create it as a little bit more of a self-paced group coaching program with regular check-ins, but with those next level insights. And that to me, again, feels juicy. So basically something had to die in order for it to be reborn. That really is the true essence of the law of attraction, of working in energetic alignment, in spiritual alignment, that sometimes things have to die in order for them to be reborn. So I'm hoping that resonates with you, what I'm sharing here today. And I would love to find out what were some of those sliding door moments in your business or in your life where you thought you were going to go one way, and then the universe was like, no, darling, that's actually not your way. We're going to redirect you. We're going to close that door. We're going to open up something new that you didn't even know existed, that you didn't even have any plan to have in your business, but we know better. So if you trust us, we would love to hand this to you on a silver platter. And this is really what this entire thing felt like. It was synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity. And then obviously what also had to happen was I had to get in touch with the original creator of this ChatGPT prompt, and I had to ask her for permission to co-license her work because it was not my IP. So I didn't feel that I was allowed, or actually this was never even a question. I wasn't allowed to use her work and just rejig it and then sell it under my brand. That to me is not in integrity. That's not in the highest vibration. And this is not how I want to run my business. And so she allowed me to do that. We're now working together on this bot with Brooke. We're basically going to work on the bot up until a certain percentage, and then we're going to split the bot into half without getting into too much detail because that's the technical side of things. And then she will put her frameworks and her ideas on it, and I will do the rest for myself, going more down sort of the strategic side. So yes, massive, massive sliding door moments, massive hand delivery by the universe. And, you know, sometimes we can get a little bit tired. It's sort of in that middle phase where we're like, we know we're very, very close to the next breakthrough, but we're just grinding. Everything has stalled. Everything has come to a hold. Whatever you're putting out there is not getting any resonance. But that's where we're not allowed to give up. This is the place where we just need to trust. And this is the place where we just need to say, okay, well, clearly I need to surrender to whatever here. I need to become still. I need to listen to my inner wisdom because the grinding and the hustling really is not working in those moments either. And then recalibrate, realign, and seeing what needs to happen next. So I would love to really invite you to do a little bit of an audit and see where you have that 80-20%, 80-20 rule in your life. You all know your human design. And if you don't, please jump on my website, run your free chart. That's not going to cost you anything. And it will already give you some insights into what your type is, what your strategy is, and what you're here to do. And that will give you an indication also of what your signature and what your not self theme is. You don't need to know any more than there is two emotions. So for manifesting generators and generators, it's frustration and satisfaction. So there is two emotions. There is a scale, basically. One produces energy and one sucks the energy out of you. And if you then do your audit and say, where in my life am I feeling positive emotion, where I'm being fueled, and where in my life am I feeling the energy is being sucked out of me? Do that audit and then have a look at why do you feel compelled to continue with stuff that drains your energy? And I know, I always talk with my clients about the chicken and the egg. It is really hard to identify and to give yourself permission to outsource something when perhaps you're not even yet making the income that you want to make from your business. But the thing is, you can only be of highest service if you stay in your zone of genius. If you're doing work and if you're doing tasks that are below your pay rate and below the rate that you can be charging out to your clients, and where you are staying in your genius and where you're having the most fun, you're not actually being of highest service. Outsource those things. Either bring in AI or bring in people that can help you. Like, I don't have a VA full time. A, I don't need it yet in my business, and B, it would chew up too much of my money as well. So I've got Mel 10 hours a month and 15 hours a month. And right now I'm not even completely filling those 15 hours with her. But I still got space for some of the other projects that are now being layered on that she will help me implement and bring into life. So start small, start with AI, jump over to Brooke's episode and listen to how she advises people to get started with AI, to start outsourcing those repetitive tasks that are draining us all. And just start creating that space, even in your wardrobe. Like, I had my beautiful bridesmaids, Sophie and Sonia, both beautiful entrepreneurs in their own rights, over in Adelaide, and they're like, Alice, you need to declutter your wardrobe. There is new energy that is trying to come in, but it literally doesn't have any space. And so if you believe in, feng shui, if you believe in cleansing, we obviously had a powerful equinox recently. And during those times, to me, it actually felt like spring. To me, it felt like I needed to do a very big spring clean, even though we're here in Australia and it's now autumn. But that's what the energy was calling for. And I now know that I need to follow those instructions. And yes, the wardrobe urgently needed a declutter because there was still a lot of old stuff in there that I haven't worn in years. But again, it's the guilt of saying, I have paid for this. I should be bringing it to, rent a rec place. But again, I just don't have the time. I just wish somebody could come to my home, could say, please just put everything onto different piles. One pile is for Vinnie's, one pile is for, sale, and another pile is like your designer clothing that you want to get rid of because I have a couple of beautiful Italian kilos on my hips. So a lot of the stuff that I have bought over in Europe over the years is just simply not fitting me anymore. And so again, it's just a different way of making space. Like, what do you want to bring into your life? Do you want to bring something into your personal life? Do you want to bring something in your business life? In your personal life, if you're trying to attract a new life partner, but you don't even have space for his toothbrush, then how is he supposed to come into your life? Anyways, we're completely off track, but I think you're kind of getting the memo. This was sort of a little bit of a behind the scenes on what has been happening in my business over the last couple of months. I promise you that moving forward, I'm going to share some of the frameworks, some of my favorite books with you that I would love to dive a little bit into with you and just share some of the major teachings of it. I'm going to share my favorite podcasts with you. If you don't know The Diary of a CEO, if you don't know Danielle Priestley, if you don't listen to Denise Duffield Thomas or have read her books, highly recommend those. So that's sort of what I would love to just continue to do moving forward, because for me, it's a lot easier to share this verbally and whilst I'm on a podcast with you than to try and sit in front of my computer and come up with that as a newsletter to all of you. So that concludes it for today. It's a little bit of a shorter episode, but I don't want to drag this on for too long unnecessarily. I hope the messages have landed with you, they have come across. If you have got any questions, if you would like to see certain people on future podcast episodes, please share them with me. I would love to interview them. They need to be hard-led. They need to have had sliding door moments. They needed to have instances in their life where they completely rebuild their life from scratch again. These are the type of people that I'm interested in interviewing, that I'm interested in hearing from. And I would say that is it for today. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode, and I will speak to all of you very soon.